Liberal Democrat spokesperson Vikki.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Local councils are the backbone of our communities, delivering services to every home and business. And under the last Conservative government, their funding was slashed while their responsibilities were broadened, which means that many are now facing a financial precipice not of their making, and as they are the ones alongside residents, they're usually the ones in the firing line when people and businesses are distressed. I've faced local government reorganisation before when leader of Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole Council. 5 years on in Dorset, the public are not convinced that large unitaries work for them. They don't see services improve, they just see a more remote council that has to cover a much bigger area, moving money from where it was raised to be spent elsewhere, and through an organisation that can't understand the differing needs. Scale that up even further, and I fear that more issues and individual community needs will slip through the net. The paper talks of mutual respect and collective purpose, but by giving such extended powers and the ability to levy a mayoral tax to mayors, I wonder if the ministers could confirm what specifically will be left for council leaders. For my area of Wessex, which of course is Thomas Hardy country, rather than being well-known local leaders, the creations of a mega mayor is more likely to be compared to Jude the Obscure. Madam Deputy Speaker, I'm deeply concerned about the impact on local authority staff, both now and for prospects in the future, including their ability to move between councils to develop their skills. Councils have already rationalised staffing to make ends meet and shared services, as was referenced by the Shadow Minister, and they will struggle to reinvent again. What plans does the Government have to ensure local authorities will be sufficiently funded to implement such changes and to limit the outflow of millions of pounds to consultants to make this happen? And turning to the role of elected members, the lived experience of these community leaders is so worthwhile, and I'm deeply concerned about the loss of districts and district councillors and a move to the strategically elected members. Those people are likely to be required to travel much further and give so much more of their time, making it harder for people with caring responsibilities or full-time careers to serve. And, Madam Deputy Speaker, the paper brings forward potential sanctions for breaches of standards, which is very welcome, but says little about how we reset the relationship with those councillors to make sure that the time and effort that they put in is properly reflected. The White Paper fails to say anything about the ticking time bomb of social care in any meaningful way, and its reference to the financial crisis being faced up and down the country hints at further devolution. What can the Minister do to ensure that local communities are able to avoid feeling like this is a top-down diktat and make their own decisions about the future?
Minister.
Thank you. Can I thank the opposition spokesperson for the question and also for her service, of course, as an elected member for a period as well. I understand there will be concerns about the move to larger unitaries, but the fact is there is a two-tier premium that the taxpayer is paying for. And at a time when resources are limited, we do have a responsibility to take money from overhead costs in councils in the back office and to get them to the front lines that people have good neighbourhood services. And I would suspect, when asked the question, do you prefer an existing two-tier system or more money being directed at local public services, most people would want the money to go to local public services. But there is a balance here, and it's for local areas to get that scale. We're very clear in the White Paper that we want to move away from councillors being perceived as backbench councillors, and we want to reform them essentially as frontline councillors of the conveners of a community, with greater power, influence and the ability to get things done. And on the matter of social care, there was an additional £4 billion provided in the budget. The provisional settlement will be announced this week, and of course £600 million of that was for a recovery grant to go to areas with high deprivation but low tax bases to make sure that we rebalance the fairness in the system.